right. Shabbat. Almost wanted to say Shabbat because I'm ready for the Shabbat again. So I want to say Shalom, Yasharel. Shalom to the bruise. What's going on, fam? Pray that y'all are doing well. Pray that y'all in good spirit. Give y'all a few more seconds to go ahead and get on. If you can hear me loud and clear, you already know what to do. Go ahead and drop a 1 in that box. Let me know you hear me loud and clear. Because we got some business to discuss tonight. All right. That's what's up. That's what I'm talking about. All right. We good to go in the tech. You know the old saying, Yasharel? You and me in my office. We got to talk. We got some things to talk about tonight. As you saw the title, Discontinued from Our Heritage. Now, I named it that for a reason. Because this won't be for long. This was only temporarily. It was only for a short time. Now, there's so many things that are happening across the earth. It's not even funny, y'all. The Most High, the Almighty, is getting ready to shake up some things. And it's all about his chosen people. Y'all have no idea how the nations have ruffled the Most High Spirit, and it's about to burst. So we want to talk about some things. We want to have a really, really heart-to-heart discussion. Because I'm going to tell you, Yasharal, there is absolutely no reason with all this technology, with all this information at our fingertips, that majority of our people are still in ignorance. Now, Hosea 4:6 says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. And if you read that next verse, it goes on, because we have departed from the Holy Torah. Now, if you have little kids with you, I want you, during this lesson or after this lesson, I want you to really explain to them and teach them, what this is all about, what this awakening, what this whole captivity is all about, so they clearly understand what's going on. And most importantly, who they actually are. Because if you don't know who you are as a people, it's hard to know where you're going. And for many of our brothers and sisters that are caught up in that spirit, like, I don't care, it don't matter, we all here, we're one, we're one with the heathens, and they love it. Those people are crazy for several reasons. All right. But before we get into anything, let's go ahead and get Jeremiah chapter 17. All right, let's lay that foundation right quick. All right, if I'm going too fast, if I start going too fast, just to tell me to slow down. I don't know how long this discussion is going to be, but we got to cover some very, very crucial points here, okay? All right, so Jeremiah chapter 17, and let's look at verse 4. It says, and you, even yourself, shall discontinue from your heritage that I gave you, and I will cause you to serve your enemies in the land which you know not, for ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. Now, we know that forever doesn't mean forever for like eternity, okay? It just means for the period of time that the Most High has us under these curses before they are turned on our enemies. All right, when you look at the next verse 5, it says, thus says Yahweh, cursed be the man that trusts in man and makes flesh his arm, and whose heart departs from Yahweh. Now, we have a serious problem within Israel, within our people. We have we for some reason, we have an atrocious appetite in trusting white people, these other nations. these heathen nations, demon seeds, however you want to call them. We have a mean, atrocious appetite for following these people and trusting them wholeheartedly. Now, where do you think that came from? How did we get that way? How did we come from King David's era when we were kicking butt? Anybody in any other nations who stood against us, we were kicking butt, y'all. I mean, there was no nation out there that would dare come against Yasharel during that time. You know why? Because we were together, we were keeping the commandments. So let me pull up and show you the reason why our people are just so entwined with their captives. Now, there's a word for it, and I'm going to show you this, and you're going to see what this is. All right. Now, as I have this on the screen, I want y'all to pay close attention what it says here. All right, Stockholm Syndrome. I'm sure you all know what that is. All right, Stockholm Syndrome is a proposed condition or theory that tries to explain why hostages sometimes develop a psychological bond with their captors. It is supposed to result from a rather specific set of circumstances, namely the power imbalances contained in hostage taking, kidnapping, and abusive relationships. All right, I don't even got to go no further than that to make it make sense. Discontinued from our heritage. And as we're on a road to at least somewhat trying to get our heritage back, the few of us, let's compare this captivity right now to Egypt, because it's similar. You know why it's similar? Because when our people were in captives in Egypt, what did they do? They took on their language, they took on their customs, they took on their eating habits. So therefore, our people were dying like the Egyptians. They were living like the Egyptians. They were dressing like the Egyptians. So fast forward today, this captivity, same thing. We have taken on the customs of our enemies. We worship their holidays. We dress like them. We eat like them. We get sick like them. We put suntan lotion on like they do, which we don't need suntan lotion. You see, the only difference between the Egyptian captivity and our captivity of today is that the Egyptian captivity, they were all together, concentrated in one place, the place of Goshen. We, on the other hand, are scattered to the four corners. It's very interesting when you really think about it, because both captivities, our people did not know who they were until the Most High came, or he rose up Moshe, to lead his people out of Egypt into the wilderness to a better place to establish the laws. Now, a similar thing is going to happen. All right. Some people call it the second Exodus, going into the wilderness. It's going to happen. We don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. And it's going to be in the same like manner. Guess what? We're going to be out there for 1,000 years learning the commandments. Now, in the meantime, while all of these moving pieces are happening, you have the situation that's going on in Yemen. You have the situation that's going on with, of course, Israel and Palestine, and Ukraine and other Eastern countries are really starting to get involved. This thing is really starting to heat up. And on top of that, you have all these immigrants that are coming over. And if you notice that these immigrants, a lot of them are Venezuelans and Chinese, middle-aged men of fighting age. Now, these people are coming over here by the tens of thousands every month. Now, where do you think they're going? They got to be going somewhere, right? Doesn't it occur to you that maybe Russia and China could be buying up land like crazy, which they have been in the past? Something is getting ready to break, Yasharel. I'm telling you, something is getting ready to break. And I would not be surprised one day we woke up and there's this chaos everywhere, because these people of middle-aged fighting men that are coming in with no families, Something's being set up and nobody's talking about it. Nobody's paying attention to it. Everybody's just ignoring it it's like it's not even happening because our people are so caught up in the fragiles of life. It's like, social media got our people all caught up. TV got our people all caught up. Entertainment got our people all caught up. The music industry got our people all caught up. Discontinued from our heritage. It's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing for our people not to know who they are. It's scary actually because we know that Christianity is the most dangerous drug on the planet because it keeps our people in captivity. Now we know the history that went down. And for those people who say that, well, slavery in America didn't exist, well, here's the thing with that. The Europeans, they write down everything. I hear you. You hear me? They write down, they document everything. They document the names of the ships. They document the names of the slaves. They've always done that. All right. It's there. It's in the archives. You can look up the transatlantic slave trade.com. There's a bunch of them. And you can type in names and these ships and the names of the Hebrew names will pop up. If you put in Hebrew names like Ben, Yah, Tob, Yah, those names will come up. Our people had Hebrew names, y'all. We were named after the Almighty, so our people had Hebrew names. There's a book called Negroland. It was written he wasn't a colonizer, but he was passing through and he saw a group of Negroes that were Messianics. They were keeping the commandments. They were Hebrews. All right, but we know that we were split up during at the beginning of the Arab slave trade, which began roughly around the late 600s AD. And then on the back of that came the transatlantic slave trade. So what I'm telling you, Yasharel, is that the information is there. The problem is our people, just for some reason, they don't want to put in that work to dig, to look, and to see where they really come from. I don't know. Maybe some of it has to do with if they find out, they feel like they have to be accountable and they have to change. I don't know, but it just doesn't make any sense. With all this prevalent information out here, you got a lot of brews, you got a lot of scholars within Israel, who are putting out good material, books, what have you, to teach our people where we come from. So why the ignorance? What is it about our people? They just can't seem to get it. They can't seem to grasp it because I guarantee you, just probably, it's fair to say that just about every Negro in the United States has probably heard or somebody's told them about, hey, who we are. Now, I know sometimes the camps don't do it justice and we're scattered, we're scattered like flies in the field, just going every direction. No, we're not together. And that's the problem. And when our people was introduced to Christianity, they didn't know anything about Christianity at the time. And they put a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus in front of you, whose name is Cesare Borgia. All right, if you look him up, he was the son of Pope Alexander VI. And Cesare Borgia had a love affair with Michelangelo, the painter. Dude was ruthless. I mean, he was making out with his sister and everything. They were practicing incest. So we got to really educate ourselves. But let's get the reason why the Most High's anger was kindled against us. We're going to go to Baruch. Let's go to Baruch. We're going to be in Baruch for a minute. All right. Give you a few seconds to get there. But I really hope and pray that you all are grasping this because, I mean, this is very serious. There's a lot of things that's going on. And I'm gonna share it with you. I'm gonna show you a secret to our success, but I'm gonna wait till we get towards the end of the lesson, because some of you already know it, but there is a secret to our success. There is a secret to our rise. There is a secret to that if we apply this, that that we will see destruction rain down upon our enemies faster than we can ever imagine. Just imagine if it's just 30% of us just did this, what I'm going to share with you later. All right. Everybody should be in the book of Baruch. All right. So for those of you who are new, I am reading from the Sefer Bible, which has it takes out the God and other pagan names. But however, if you have an apocrypha, it's okay. For edification, just follow along the best way you can. All right, verse 3 in First Baruch chapter 4 says, "Give not your honor to another, nor the things that are profitable unto you to a strange nation." What do you see on TV a lot, Yasharel? Now you got to understand the psychological warfare that the heathens have been putting on our people. Now, most of you probably don't have cable. If you anything like me, I don't have cable. I streamline just from the internet. But even certain TV shows have ads, and what's the first thing they normally play? They'll have a brother hooked up or married to some white woman with mixed kids, with mamzer kids. Now, why do you think they do that? You think they're doing that just to be doing that? See, these people know that they're dying off. And the only way for them to survive is through our gene. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy, Yasharel? The only way that they can survive is through our genes. But the sad part about it is that our people are so ignorant that they are allowing them to. So you know what? The Most High is going to turn up the heat on them. See, the Most High has a way of auto-correcting things. Yeah, we're out of place. We're out of order. We're scattered so harshly, and we're so integrated amongst our enemies. But the Most High has a way of auto-correcting things, and yeah, it's going to hurt like crazy. Many of you are going to have to go through it. All right, many of our people are going to have to go through it, and it's not going to be pretty in the coming years, months, weeks. It's not going to be pretty at all. All right, let's continue. Let's go down to verse 5. It says, "Be of good cheer, my people. The memorial of Yasharel." All right. Now, he's saying be of good cheer because it's not going to last forever, Yasharel. All right. It may seem like we have been forgotten. It may seem like we have been abandoned. It may seem like we're just screwed as a people. All right. It seems that way. But that's only if you're looking at it from your own physical eyes. When you see it from spiritual eyes, you see a whole different scenario. And I tend to see things that a lot of other people don't see. I mean, I see the writing on the wall. I see how this thing is getting ready to go down. And it's ironic because at the same time as the Almighty is punishing his people, as he is chastising his people, he is also punishing the other nations. That's some serious multitasking. Y'all hear me, y'all? That's some serious multitasking. And he's putting all the pieces together, and he's causing nation to turn against nation. And y'all got to understand, nothing happens without the Most High's permission, even wickedness. The way for his people. See, these nations they done messed up. They done messed up bad. And it's like they're beyond anything that they can be rewarded with for heaviness, wickedness, because they are going to get that just service due, and it's going to be heavy. All right, let's get this. Verse 6, it says, Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction. So let me pause right quick. I just want to make sure we understand. Most High says in Jeremiah 31 and 35 says that his seed is going to remain forever. Now, we may be a remnant by the time all this is done, but he is going to have a seed left. He says, Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved Elohim to wrath. Ye were delivered unto the enemy. Now get this, verse 7. For ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not Elohim. See, this is a stickler, y'all. This is huge, because what's going on with our people at this time? What is the biggest thing that our people live for? Idol worship, idolatry. Yes, this is it. This is what keeps us in captivity. This is what keeps us lower than the ground. And you got to understand, Yashua, you may be saying, well, man, it's not fair. Why do we all got to be? Because we are his chosen people. You got to understand that we are only as strong as our weakest link. And the Most High is going to have to bring some pain on our people. Yeah, we all going to go through. We all here alive, you know. If you are alive today, Yasharel, it is because you have survived through your ancestors during slavery. Because many of our people during slavery, you know, committed suicide by jumping overboard with their babies. But you're here because you are survivors of your ancestors. We are survivors of our ancestors. You go back and track your fathers all the way back as far as you can. Think about it. Because if one of your forefathers would have died, then you wouldn't be here. You see what I'm saying? So that means that we have a purpose that the Most High is portraying on us. And I'm telling you, you're not going to get this kind of message in the churches. You're not going to get this nowhere in the churches. You're not going to get this like the brews are giving it to you today. All right, because they don't want to tell you who you are. They want to keep a wool over your head. They want to continue to tell you that you don't have to keep the commandments. But we already know that's a bold-faced lie. We are required to keep the commandments. You cannot say you love Hamashiach and then ignore the commandments and don't keep the commandments. All right, let's look on here. Let's look at verse 8. It says, Ye have forgotten the everlasting Elohim that brought you up, and ye have grieved Yashalarayim that nursed you. It's talking about us, y'all. Yeah, and we are suffering from the sins of our forefathers. This is why when we pray for deliverance and Most High to forgive us of our sins, we also must pray for our forefathers' sins. All right. But no, you got our people today, they sitting up there telling you, oh yeah, you can eat pork, you can do this, you can disobey the Most High, and you know, they're nothing but crooks. Nothing but crooks in suits. And the Most High has got a place for them because they are going to be punished severely for destroying and scattering the flock. This is serious, y'all. And you know, and you got our people, you got these so-called black leaders up at the Pentagon, up at the White House, and all they're doing is holding seats for their children. And I guarantee you, in the day of judgment, they are going to be judged and rewarded rightfully. Everything that they've done, because much is given, much is received, Israel. Much is given, much is received. And you know, I understand as a teacher of the Most High, we don't get to quit. We don't have that obligation to quit. Yeah, as many times I do. I get tired of this. Do I get tired of going through the same thing all the time and having to see my people go through the stuff? Yeah, I get tired. But you know what? We don't quit because we're not quitters. We are lions. We are lions. And I've already made a vow to the Most High. Well, I'm going hard in the paint in this thing until the wheels fall off. Wake up, Yasharel. Wake up. I mean, man, it just blows my mind, with all this technology out here, and it's our people getting worse and worse and worse. All right, our people sitting up there begging for reparations. I've been doing that for the last 3 decades now, begging for reparations. You know what? Let me show you where your reparations are going. I'm going to show you clearly where all your reparations are going. Here you go.
With this bill, the Senate keeps its word to Ukrainians in desperate need of supplies and ammunition, to innocent Palestinian civilians in need of relief, to Israelis in need of support, and to U.S. service members on patrol in the Indo-Pacific, the Red Sea, and around the world. The Senate declares that American leadership will not waver, will not falter, will not fail.
Huh. Y'all hear that? That's where your reparations are going, Yasharel. I don't mean to laugh, but man, that's a straight up insult. But that's where all your reparations are going. You think they care about us? And you know what's crazy is because they'll turn around after they don't put this blue-eyed, blonde-hair dude in front of us, this Cesare Borgia, and then they're telling you gotta love, but then they turn around, beat your backs in like their forefathers did for hundreds of years. But our people are dumb enough to turn around and love them back. All right. It's time to pray for destruction on our enemies, total destruction. This is what it comes down to. Our people love giving these people a pass. But let me tell you what Sirach. Tell you what Sirach said. Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus chapter 25 and verse 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that has joy of his children, and he that lives to see the fall of his enemy. Now we're starting to see the remnants of that, and it's going to increase. All right. Remember, the Most High said in Deuteronomy chapter 7 and 21, 22, he says he will put out the heathens little by little. But that little by little is going to increase more and more by more. They're not going to get, no one is going to get away from judgment. No one is escaping judgment. I don't care. These people they can apologize all they want to. It doesn't matter. They're going into captivity. They're going to get that work. They're going to get that 1,000-year backbeating, just like they did us. And that's what they're afraid of. This is why they do not want us to keep the commandments. They don't want us to rise. They don't want us to come together for those reasons, because they want to hold on to this kingdom as much as possible. All right. And shortly after, the chains came off. I mean, we were resilient people. We bounced up so quickly. We had Black Wall Street. And I'm gonna tell you something. Tulsa, Oklahoma was not the only place where they had a Black Wall Street. All right, they had Black Wall Streets all across the U.S. All right, especially the Midwest and all the way to Florida, Redwood. They had Black Wall Streets all over. The only reason why this one is so special is because of the way it went down. When the heathens came, and most of them had riots, and it was over jealousy. Because If you go and do a research, all right, so from like the early 1920s to around to the late 1940s, did y'all know that the Negroes were the main enterprise in America? Did y'all know that? And because of that, these so-called Khazars, they had to come up with a plan. See, all this was strategically done, Yasharel, to bring us down. That's why it says in Psalms 83, they are confederate against us. Let us let us bring them down from being a nation. That's what it was all about. They knew we were the true people of the Almighty. They knew that we were the true people of the book, but yet they always loved to distort our history. How do they distort our history? That happened over decades. All right. But you got to understand again the psychological warfare that our enemies have done on us is that they have beat us out of ourselves. We pretty much beat ourselves out of ourselves. All right. But when we look in the early stages in the early 90s to the late 40s, we had it going on. We were providing so much money and security for our people. But they don't talk about this in the schools. They don't talk about this in the churches. You don't see this because it's all been suppressed. All this stuff is, man, it's been suppressed, y'all. And when you look at our history, or I'm not talking about this stupid Black history that they do every month. That's just a bunch of foolishness. The Torah is Black history, y'all. It is Israelite history. It is our history. From the beginning to the current day, it is our history. The scriptures don't belong to the heathens. They don't belong to these non-melanated people. They've interjected themselves in our book. And you know what's crazy? That's like that's like a man coming into your house and kicking you out as a family, and then claiming ownership to your own house and everything, and then claiming ownership to your own furniture, all that stuff, and kicking you out. But you still own the house. It is your house, but they claim your house now. That's what they've done to us, y'all. It's crazy. And then somebody came up with a bright idea, and it was a bunch of heathens. It was a bunch of white folks that came up with a bright idea. Let's start a civil rights movement. But what they did is they sat down at their think tanks. How can we demonetize so-called Black folks, Israelites? You know what? Let's join them together with the other nations. Now, Yasharel, we already know what the scripture says. The scripture says that ye shall be hated among all nations. So why in the world would you want to integrate with other nations that hate you? Why would our forefathers why would they want to go into a restaurant, get spat upon, get their head beat in, get hit upside the head with a fist, get pushed, and they sitting there and just that's cowardice. That would have never ever happened in King David's time. These folks would have been annihilated. They would have been wiped out and annihilated. This is what this has done to us. Integration was the worst thing that could ever happen to our people. Because when that happened, the Black enterprise, it started to fade away. It started to fade away. The Black Wall Street started to disappear. Because after Tulsa, Oklahoma got bombed, y'all know that they rebuilt that? They didn't tell you that. They rebuilt their city. And that's when they came up with the civil rights, because they realized these heathens and these old politicians, they realized, man, these Negroes, they are so resilient. They just bouncing back left and right. We can't stop them. The only way that we can stop them is let's integrate them with all the other nations. And over the next 7 decades, it would reap devastative results, because now the new Black is the mamzer. The brothers, but for the most part, are effeminate, acting like women, and the women are acting like the men. We have a dysfunctional, people that are upon this earth that have been degraded over the last second decades, and our people don't even see it. I mean, just cold, boy. They strategized on us. They took us through the ringer, boy. But it's on us because we fell for it. We fell for it. At the end of the day, who makes the final decision? It's you. It's me. Yeah, it's on us. Yeah, our forefathers failed us time after time. They failed us. But what can we do now as a people? Because we're not going to get together like this. Y'all see this, y'all? These are a bunch of dots. Now, these dots represent, let's say these dots represent so-called black folks, Israelites. All right. In these dots, I want you to look at this very carefully because I'm getting ready to give you a very strong analogy. Now, these dots represent all our scattered people, your doctors, your black doctors, your fraternity, your fraternity groups, your step groups, your black churches, your little black mom and pop businesses, all that stuff. So these are all our people. But look how the dots are just scattered everywhere. Look how we're just all over the place. There's no power in this, y'all. Yashira, you hear me? There is no power in this structure at all because we're moving at the beat of our own drums. We have no organization. We are not organized. We're not together. We fight one another constantly. We kill one another constantly. Let me show you what the power is. This is what the power is right here. Now, just imagine if 30% of Negroes came together like this. A webbed.net that is so strong that no force can break you. This was King David's era. This is what the power is. The power is not in this right here. This is what the power is. Now, I'm going to tell you the secret to our success. All right. The secret to our success is keeping the commandments of the Almighty. I just read that to you in Baruch, the reason why we were put in captivity, because we have drove the Most High to wrath, because we were worshiping idols of devils, and we're still doing that at an alarming rate. Just imagine if 30% of our people just stopped going to these Christian churches. Man, we can shut these churches down overnight. Really could. But we already know the outcome of that. We already know that for the most part, our people are going to continue to dwell in these wicked societies. It's like the Matrix, y'all. When that movie, The Matrix, was made, that explained our people to a T. Nobody wants to be unplugged. And if you try to unplug them, they will fight you for it. It's like they want to remain plugged into the system. They like things the way they are. They love integrating with the heathens. They love dressing like the heathens. They love eating like the heathens. They rather get sick like the heathens. They rather die with the heathens than come back to the Almighty and keep his laws, commandments, and statutes, because there's nothing like the Most High's laws, commandments, and statutes, y'all. It is a glorious thing. Now let's go back to Baruch, because I want to show you something. What's going to happen? Because the Most High is going to deliver his people. It's just sad that many of our people are going to have to fall by the wayside, and I really don't wish that on our people. It's sad that brothers like myself, Aton, and other brothers, we constantly have to sigh and cry, because it's like, and I know sometimes y'all probably think that we just, it's just so redundant, but it is, because you have to be. It's because our people are stiff-necked. I mean, what more do we need? Like, what more can you say to our people to make them understand? Man, like, sometimes you just want to take y'all know them hard cast iron skillets your grandmothers used to cook with and everything. Sometimes you just want to take one of those and just slap them across the face with it. Leave a huge rust mark on their face. I don't know. Maybe that won't even work. Probably likely kill them than anything. All right, so let's go to Baruch. Let's go back to Baruch chapter 4, because I want to bring out something else here. I want to bring out what the Most High is getting ready to do. All right. I told y'all we were gonna be in this book for a minute. All right, you all should be there by now. Let's get it. All right, so I'm gonna start with verse 31, Baruch chapter 4. First Baruch chapter 4 and verse 31. It says, "Miserable are they that afflict you, and rejoice at your fall." Now we've already heard this once before in Psalms 83 and Psalms chapter 2. All right, these heathens, they purposely, the powers that be, they have purposely have warred against the Most High's people. And we already know in the last two books of Ezra, there's so much I want to cover in a nutshell. So some scriptures I may quote, but you won't see them up here. But in the last two books of Ezra, all right, Second Ezra, you'll see how the Most High is preparing for these for the destruction of these heathens. Have you ever seen the book of Eli? I mean, I know most of y'all probably seen the book of Eli. If you haven't, go watch the book of Eli, because that explains the last two books of Second Ezra to a T, y'all. Because it talked about like 20 to a city and how it was complete destruction. Man, I mean, it was crazy. All right, so let's get back at it. So verse 32, "Miserable are the cities which your children served, and miserable is she that received your sons." All right. Now, America, the big sister of Babylon, if not Babylon, everywhere that our people are scattered to, where these heathens are just beating our people and taking them through the ringer, it's Babylon, especially America, especially this place. Verse 33, "For as she rejoiced at your ruin and was glad of your fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation." Y'all hear that? Now, I brought up before, y'all, we're getting ready to go into a civil war. I truly believe that there's going to be a civil war, y'all. This stuff is getting ready to go down. It's like, again, nobody's talking about this. I feel like I'm the only one that's bringing this out. You got middle-aged men, Chinese folks, by the tens of thousands, Venezuelan men that are coming across the borders every month, every day. Nobody's talking about this stuff. I'm gonna tell y'all something else too. Y'all know when they brought, a couple of years ago, when they brought the Afghan refugees over here, I saw the refugee camps with my own eyes, y'all. I saw the Afghan refugee camps with my own eyes. And they released these people in the public and gave them anywhere from $350,000 to $450,000 as a financial starter. And nobody said a word. Well, actually, nobody really knew. See, this is the level of diabolicalness that's going on right under your noses, and you don't even see it. I'm telling you, Yashara, we're going to wake up one morning, because these people that are coming here in this country, these middle-aged fighting men, they're going somewhere. They're somewhere. They may be near you, but they are going somewhere. They're sleeping somewhere. All right, they're not just sleeping out in the street. They're sleeping somewhere. They're being sheltered for a reason. And this thing is getting ready. The balloon is getting ready to go up, y'all, with Russia, China, and then the places, the countries in the Middle East. The Most High is getting ready to stir up the hornet's nest, y'all. But for those of us who are keeping the commandments, I truly believe, like the Goshen of old, the Most High is going to watch over his people. But that's not to say that we're going to feel the brunt of it. Yeah, we're going to feel some serious pressure. We're going to feel the brunt of the things that are getting ready to go down. We just got to get ready to brace ourselves. You got to brace yourselves hard, because it's getting ready to be a serious impact. All right. So I'm gonna read 33 again. For as she rejoiced at your ruin and was glad of your fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. See, nothing goes without reward, y'all. That's why you don't got to worry about these heathens. Yeah, you look at them, you say, well, why are they living so good? Why are they doing so well? You know, why they got why is the financial wealth gap it's like so wide. It's like compared from the East Coast to the West Coast. That's how wide the financial gap is between us and them. But it was done that way on purpose. They're gonna pay for that, y'all. You ain't got to worry about that. They are going to reap the whirlwind. And if they are afraid that what we're going to do to them like they did to us, they got every right to worry, because that's exactly what we're going to do. It's only fair and it's only right. But the Most High is going to reward them 10 times that. Oh yeah, they gonna get it, y'all. But guess what? We're not going to go without punishment, because we're already going through that now. You know, I mean, the wickedness amongst our people is at an all-time high. And something has to break. And all these things that are happening, that's what I'm saying. The Most High has a way of auto-correcting things. And those of our people who are doing wicked, guess what? They're going to perish along with the ones who have abused the Most High's people. And it's sad they don't have to do that, but because they're being wicked, they want to integrate so heavily with their slave masters. Then they're going to get exactly what they deserve. I wouldn't be surprised if the Most High turned their skin white, since they want to be with their enemies so much. Turn their skin white. Turn them white. Turn them to a heathen. Let them be a heathen. Let them be a white boy. Let them be a white woman. And they'll be happily ever after. They can die gracefully with their non-melanated counterparts. All right. Verse 34, for I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. I mean, these people are relentless, y'all. And the pride, we already know that their money is their God. All right. But yet our people have become them. We become, and it's like money has become our God. Like everything that these heathens have done, it's like our people have become like them. All right, these folks never going to change. We were the ones who changed. We were the ones who were that strayed away from the Most High's commandments, laws, and statutes. We were the one who decided that we were going to join with our enemies. Yeah, we did that. Verse 35, for fire shall come upon her from the everlasting long to endure, and she shall be inhabited of devils for a great time. So when you read the last two books of Ezra, there was some desolation going on in there. All right. It says, "O Yerushalayim, look about you toward the east, and behold the joy that comes unto you from Elohim." Now it's interesting that it says that. Look towards the east, because which way is the Most High going to come from? Matthew 24:27. As lightning shineth from the east unto the west, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. The scriptures don't lie, y'all. And Baruch saw some things. You know, he saw the future. He saw our time that we're living in today. And this is why, you know, we have to really get back, Yasharel, to really, really teaching our people. Teach your kids first. You got to teach your kids. All right. Do not compromise your kids in these holidays. I don't care how much your mother-in-law or your mother or your father, your grandmom or your granddad begs you to bring your grandchildren over or your children over for these holidays. Christmas, the Thanksgiving is the worst. That is where and you know, the heathens, because they even go further to make sure that we break the commandments and that we try to, you know, that we get caught up in these holidays. They'll close everything down. Y'all know that? They'll close everything down. Ain't no more work. Well, you ain't working. You might as well bring your kids on over. Yeah, you got to work today. You might as well bring my grandchild over. I ain't saw my grandbaby. You know what you tell them? If you want to get together, you can come on our holidays, on our high holy days. We have high holy days for a reason, Yasharel, because it is our birthright. And you got to stop compromising. You really do, because the more you compromise, the more you put yourself in a situation for wickedness. You got to stop compromising. Trust me, you're gonna be thankful if when you don't compromise with your family members. For those of you who got children, all right, do not compromise your children. I don't care what does the scripture says. Who is my father and my mother? They who love the Almighty and keep His commandments. If they're not, I hate to say it. I'm same here. My family members, there's certain family members I don't hang around with because they're not keeping the commandments. The ones keeping the commandments, we hang out. But you ain't keeping the commandments, I have nothing to do with you. I ain't coming. Don't ask me to come over your house. Don't offer me nothing. I mean, it may sound harsh, it may sound mean, but that this is a serious walk. We can't be playing around with this thing. And too many times our people compromise, because many of our people are social beasts, and unfortunately, you have introverts and you have extroverts. You got some people who just have to be around other people. Then you got those who just, hey, I'm good. So can't compromise, Yashara. Compromising is the worst thing you can do. That leads, man, that's what leads to our downfall every time. So the secret to our success is getting back to these commandments, laws, and statutes, y'all. Let's get one more. And we're going to wrap it up here. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 19. All right. It says, the knowledge of the commandments of Yahweh is the doctrine of life. And they that do things that please Him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality. That's powerful, y'all. That's powerful. And the Most High's laws are not grievous. All right. If anybody tells you that you can't keep the laws, then you're a liar. Then why did the Most High give them to us? There's not a law out there that we can't keep. Now, the 613 laws, of course, all of them didn't apply to all of us. You had laws that applied to priests. You had certain laws that applied to women. But the ones that apply to us, we need to be keeping, Yasharel. We know that the only law is that was fulfilled, which really Hamashiach became the living sacrifice, was the law of sacrifice. The law, the dietary law still stands, y'all. The marriage law still stands. The moral laws still stand. You can't just go out and kill your brother. You can't just go out and just leave your woman just because, she ain't listened to you, whatever. You can't just go out and do that. You can't go out there treating your brother or charging your brother high interest and everything and making usury of your brother. You can't be doing that. That's part of the laws. All right. You got to keep the Shabbat. You got to keep the feast days. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. But it's our people, because of wickedness, that our people want to wallow, and which makes them stiff-necked, which keeps them wicked. And they're going to continue in wickedness to the day that the Most High destroys them. And I'm telling you, Yasharel, it's getting ugly for our people. And the ones who want to continue to be wicked, the ones who want to continue to sell drugs to their own people, kill their own people, hate their own people, mingle with the heathens, they're going to be destroyed. Those are the ones that are going to be wiped out. Yeah. Mashiach says, I come not to bring a peace, but a sword. I come to set daughter against mother, mother against daughter, son against father, father against son. You know what? So what? They don't call. I got family members that don't call me either. But you know what? At the end of the day, I'm here to please the Most High. I'm here to please the Almighty. I can care less what family members think, how they feel. And a lot of them have regret some of the things that they have done and paying for it heavily. But hey, that's on them. You had a chance to come to the truth. You had a chance to come ask me questions. You know, you don't mess with the Most High's people. Repercussions are in the works, especially for those who are keeping the commandments. You don't mess with the Most High's people who are keeping the commandments, y'all. I think we should know that by now. You mess with you mess with the Most High's people who are keeping the commandments. Oh yeah, you're gonna get some hot coals down your back from the Most High. All right. But I just wanted to just drop some things. We just, like I said in the beginning, we had to have that office talk, y'all. We had to have that office talk, y'all, because this is serious. And as we look around, let's pray for one another seriously, because things are getting ready to get hot and heavy, y'all. And just for your information, FYI, look around you. Pay attention to what's going on. You look all these 30-year-old middle-aged men that are coming in the country, and nobody's tracking where they're going. Y'all, something's getting ready to happen. I'm telling you, y'all, I see the writing on the wall. No one is talking about it. No one is saying anything. It's like it's not even happening because our people are just so caught up in everything from A to Z. And when that thing hits, it's going to hit our people like a shockwave. And one thing you don't want to do is be out there where all them heathens are panicking, going to the stores, fighting, boy, it's going to be chaos. It's going to be chaos everywhere. I can see it already. Y'all better make sure y'all strapped up. Make sure you legally you have weapons, and that you make sure that, of course, keep them in a safe place. But anyways, y'all better be strapped up because stuff is getting ready to pop off. But anyway, y'all know I love y'all, love my people. We're going to keep on banging this truth until the wheels fall off. So until then, by the Most High's will, I hope to see you soon. Stay strong. I'm going to wish you a shalom, a hearty shalom. And stay strong, Yasharel. Keep the fight. Don't give up. All right? Don't give up. This is only for a short time. Your life is like a vapor. So don't even sweat it. Don't become weary. All right? It's time for you to be strong-minded. You're going to have to be the strong one. All right? You're going to have to be strong for your other brothers and sisters. All right? You're going to have to, because that's the only way. Look, we all we got. We are all we got. Ain't nobody else coming to help us. Like I showed you before. So just keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open. Prepare. Like the scripture says, a wise man seeth evil and prepares. Teach your children. Teach your children the righteous ways. Teach your children how to. You have the calendar. You got all these precepts on the calendar. You can go to my channel. You can go to Brother Aton's channel. You can go to the Mind of the Brotherhood. You can download the calendar. Don't even ask us if we sell a calendar. No, we don't. This is the Most High's work. All right. All you got to do is just study the precepts. And even if you don't agree with the calendar, then fine. You pray about it and follow whatever calendar that the Most High has put on your spirit. But I know one thing: we show the precepts on our calendar. We show our work. Nobody else does that. So I'm just saying, you look at all these other calendars out there, they're not putting their work on that calendar like that. I even refuse to do a calendar unless we could show the bruise how we got this. All right, that's what it boils down to. All right, Yasharel. Shalom and stay strong.